Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Reiner, sports talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. All these Americano League teams. Don't.
Wait, you said tip.
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off session. Is this a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
All right. I don't know if we're ready to do this or not, but we're starting anyway.
We're doing great.
Yes, we are doing great. We were trying to figure something out, which we'll get to here in just a second. And all of a sudden, we get the countdown from Ashley. So when you get the countdown from Ashley, that means one thing and one thing only. And that is that it's time for another episode of Your Dark Companion. Everybody, how are you? Today is the 11th of November, and we got the whole crew in here today. Mickey is here with a new nickname. She is now known as Mickey 6. Becca is here. Shoopy is here. Ashley is here. I would be Mike Reiner. I have our colleagues and compadres from back then with us today. He is that man known simply as Expo.
My original leader.
In real life, known as Kevin Fox. You're probably more Kevin Fox now than Expo.
It depends on who's in the room. There was always a delineation. There was the group of people that knew me as Kevin, and there was the group of people that knew me as Expo, and there were about 5 people that would go back and forth. And it's funny because in the last 5 or 10 years as we communicate, you now pretty much only call me Kevin.
Yes.
Expo certainly does not bother me. And like I said, a lot of people still call me that.
He was an intern at the ticket when he first appeared, and he showed up with a couple of things that most of the interns that we were running through there did not have. One was a very high level of intelligence, and the other was a math degree. Hence, he became Kevin the Exponential Intern.
That lasted for one day.
Later shortened to Expo.
Quickly shortened. Nobody wanted to say exponential.
Yes.
That's a beating to say.
It is.
And it's funny because every time people ask me where the name comes from and I start to tell the story, without fail, they think they want to say, oh, I thought you exposed yourself to somebody at some time. Like, why would you think that?
Well, I thought of an Expo marker.
I saw that in there, and I was always amused by that slight tinge of that sort of thing in there.
You were always amused by the fact that at least in those days, before I was in my 50s, that I would say anything to anyone at any time.
Yes, especially to women. He was known for saying anything to any girl at any time. He had no filter.
So are you sure you didn't expose yourself?
Positive.
I just thought it was an Expo marker, y'all.
That brash. He does have a math degree, and he really has kind of the personality to go with it. With that, you know, I mean, you're around him, you get to know him a little bit, and you can see it. You can see that math is something that he would be quite proficient at, and I say that admiringly because I am a math idiot.
Me too.
I mean,
but you have the word thing.
Yeah, I got the word thing, but I can barely do long division.
Yeah, well, I can't say any words that have more than about 6 or 7 letters.
I guess that makes us both idiots in our own special ways.
That is right.
Well, it's good to see you. Good to have you in here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's.
This must be the last show because I don't know who else you're going to be able to get after me.
Boy, I don't either.
You must be at the bottom of the barrel.
We'll figure something out.
I'm sure you will.
We're not having too much trouble getting people to come in here, but it's, it's mostly only people I know that I want to talk to. That's kind of the fun of it for me.
Yeah, getting to know people better.
We could probably get a lot of, really big names in here if we wanted to, but I'm kind of like doing this with guys like you. I think there are going to be some people out there who are interested in getting to know you a little bit better than maybe they ever did back in the day.
Yeah, they'd rather hear from you than Tom Cruise.
Well, that's because I'm not going to jump on the couch or anything.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Could if you wanted to.
Or on the chair. We don't really have a couch in here for you.
I guess that's a bench you guys are sitting on.
I was a bit jarred a moment ago when you said that you are now in your 50s.
Yeah. I'm 53.
How old were you when you showed up at the ticket?
24, 25, 26, somewhere in there.
Damn.
I left the ticket almost 23 years ago.
Wow. This is very jarring.
See, I remember the day, I guess it would have been August 16, 2000.
Yeah. My 50th birthday. I did not take that well.
Well, certainly didn't take the lead up to it well.
No.
And made it known. And so I was telling everybody that day, lay off Ryan's. He's not happy about turning. And it turned out you did fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big of a deal at all, as it turned out. But you were dreading it on the way to it.
Yeah, I was. I thought that was a sign that turning 50 is, man, it's all over for you then. It is church. You have nothing more to look forward to, and it's all downhill from here. And I found that, no, that's not
Plenty
the case
left.
at all.
Plenty left.
Yes. What are you doing with yourself these days? People want to know. I want to know.
Can I say I'm hanging around Dallas a little bit?
Yeah, you can say
isn't
anything
that
you
what they
want,
want to hear me say? Although pretty much I
think
still
they'll
hang
like
around
that.
Plano. I work my roommate from back in those days has his own company, and I do all of the money related stuff. Payroll, invoicing, pay the bills, all of that stuff. Some of the logistics and whatever. It's kind of boring, but
So you're an accountant.
okay. Like I'm not really an accountant.
He didn't like that.
I don't do the taxes.
He didn't like that.
Bookkeeper's probably better.
Yeah, the exponential bookkeeper.
I call it the accounting. My email signature says accounting department, but I'm not an accountant. I don't have an accounting degree. I don't do the taxes, and it's funny because he likes to call me the accountant, even to the actual accountants that we send the information to that do the taxes. He says my accountant will get in touch with him. Like he's close. Here's all the information you need to do the taxes. I'm the APAR guy. You are the accountants.
What kind of business is this? Am I permitted to ask that?
Sure, I can only tell you some. I can tell you what we do. I just can't tell you who we do it for. But we do digital cinema and sound installation and service and support for movie theaters.
Shoopy, do you need help with that?
Yes.
I feel like if your TV in the living room's like about to fall off or something.
Well, that's this is
You feel
different.
like what?
But he wants a whole big screen. He would like to have a movie theater, please.
Okay.
What, me?
Yeah.
I'm fine with what I got.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Until it doesn't turn on.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we hear GDits and stuff.
Yes, when it doesn't work, I don't take that terribly well. But most of the time, it's, I won't say reliable, but usually I can figure something out to get it going.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
He has 4 TVs in this house.
Yeah, I do. I'm not
That
proud
one
of that.
matters.
I'm not. Actually, it's only 3, isn't it? Yeah, 3.
Let's see.
What's that?
I didn't.
4.
I didn't buy that. Did I?
Actually, sir, you did.
I would say if you want, if
Our person.
I was gonna say if you want logistics, yes, you bought it.
Okay, all right.
We just brought it in and built it.
Okay, then I got 4.
Do you ever use that as a TV?
No, I don't know. I don't even know if it's hooked up for that.
He has.
I have? When? What have I watched on that? The Fugitive?
You might have. I don't know. I do know
The
that
50s TV show, right? Not the
I do know
93
you
movie?
watch baseball.
Yeah.
Yes. I do know you watch baseball on it.
I
do
did?
know you watched the news on it a couple of times.
Well, screw me then.
You don't need to do that.
Well, it's good to have you. You live in Plano these days?
Still live in Plano. Pretty much. Well, I guess I did live in Dallas for a while, but Plano is where I grew up. It's where I ended up back. I live less than 2 miles from the house I grew up in. I drive by Plano Senior High School on my way to work every day.
Do you shoot at the finger?
No. No, I didn't mind high school.
You didn't?
No.
Wait, did you go to school with Matt Diggs then?
No idea.
No. Okay, never mind.
Alan Tudyk was in my class, but I didn't know him.
Oh,
I don't
He's
know
a
who that
pirate.
is.
He is. He was Steve the Pirate.
yeah, from Dodgeball.
Oh, I was like a real pirate.
He played the guy that wanted to be a pirate in the movie Dodgeball. He's an actor.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
actor.
Never mind. Matt Diggs does does like all the high school football stuff around here, but he might have gone to Plano East. I thought he went to Plano though. Never mind.
It was a big school. I did not know everybody.
How many people were in your graduating class?
I hear people say like 1,300. I know we walked 1186.
Wow.
I like that he remembers that specific number.
Yes.
It's stuck
loves
in my
numbers.
head. Like, I don't know why.
Definitely a math thing.
Yeah, numbers stick in my head.
You know, we had at Kimball in 1968, we had what was considered a really big graduating class back then. But the funny thing is, nobody remembers exactly how many there were.
I was about to ask how many were there, Mike? Do you have a baseball park idea?
Estimations range from 600 to 800.
Okay, that's still more than what was in my graduating class. We had 356 people.
Where?
Azel.
That's not a real
Okay,
city.
but Hazel's a small town.
It's not that small.
It was a part of the DISD.
If
But
I'd have known we were
still
gonna
in
do
the
this, I would've
50s
asked my
though?
dad what the North Dallas class of 63 had.
That would have been interesting.
He went to North Dallas in 1963. Wow.
This is a really weird
Where do you live?
conversation, y'all.
Do you know?
No.
In the Staten Island area?
Huh? I have no idea. No idea where they
Because
lived.
back then, you pretty much had to go to the school that was that served the district that you lived in.
Yeah, I mean, he lived somewhere around there, but I don't remember exactly where.
You need to find out that
Yeah, Expo.
I can do it.
because my dad lived over in that area
Yeah.
too, and I know exactly where he lived.
He and his mother moved down from Minneapolis in probably 60 or 61. He did his last 3 years of high school at North Dallas. But I don't know exactly where they lived. An apartment.
Mike, didn't your dad go to North Dallas?
He did.
How many
Yeah.
were in his class?
I have no idea, and I guarantee you he wouldn't either.
Hey, groups, how many were in your class?
250 something.
Where'd you graduate?
Jesuit.
Oh.
He's a rich kid.
Thank you. Thank you for knowing that.
I mean, my dad was a doctor. We were all right. I just went to public school.
Nothing wrong with that, Expo.
Well, let's do some stories here, Shoopy.
Okay.
I was wondering how long we were going to stay on that.
I thought that was fun.
I was really
I was
curious.
just catching up with Expo.
Yeah, he's our friend. You see that some monkeys got loose in South Carolina? They escaped a
No, I didn't.
compound. And so far, one of the 43 has been caught and brought back.
Oh my God.
The others apparently basically been like jumping over and back around the fence nearby or something like that. It's just chaos.
What
Where were they
movie?
when they got loose? Do you know?
South Carolina.
Well, yeah, I know, but
I know.
where? Like
Apparently some sort of a compound,
or,
a compound like for, I think, getting them ready for medical testing or some sort
Really?
of. Yeah.
What city? Do you have a city?
Let's see.
'Cause my brother lives in South Carolina.
He's gonna go save the monkeys.
No.
South
Monkeys
Carolina's
are evil.
Columbia.
Let's see. The
That's
Alpha
true.
Genesis compound. Where the hell is that? Yemassee?
No
South
idea.
Carolina?
Can't help you.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
Must be a coastal town, coastal Carolina.
It's very possible, but apparently they
Carolina.
pose no risk to public health until we all die from Ebola.
Until one of them rips off someone's face.
Exactly.
Yes.
Monkeys are evil.
But
They're
these
not
ones are
evil.
apparently really cute. They're like all female, which is
They'll throw their shit at you.
they'll run over you.
That's right, they will.
But yeah, but apparently they're very
will
cute.
throw
They're
poop
7
at you.
pounds. So go pet a monkey.
No.
No?
So, what
Specifically said not to do that.
Okay.
what book and or movie does this sound like, my friends? Anybody? There's a couple.
You're not thinking of Outbreak, are you?
That one. There's Contagion. There's the Hot Zone with the monkey and the Ebola breakout, or was that
Every
Fahrenheit
book and movie
something?
with an evil monkey that bites people's faces off, throws their poop at them.
Planet of the Apes. Like there's a
spreads
ton.
disease.
Like there's there. This is what horror stories are based off of.
Exactly.
Everything's
But
gotta
also,
come from somewhere.
that woman is a hero who forgot to put a lock. We discussed this earlier.
Yes, apparently the lady that was going to maybe feed them or something like that accidentally forgot to lock the lock to the door
I call crap.
before she did that.
I see.
So it's possible that's an inside job.
It's a total
Just like
job.
everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not even been a week.
You know what else is an inside job? Jerry Jones and the curtains at AT&T Stadium.
I did not listen to. I didn't listen to this conversation.
I stopped listening, and some of that's from working at the ticket and covering games and stuff. Like it, a lot of times disabuses you of being a fan because you see how the sausage is made, pretty much. And so, like, I like the Cowboys and I want the Cowboys to win, but I don't pay hardly any attention between the end of a game and the kickoff of the next one. I can't do it anymore.
Here's what I wonder. How are we supposed to stay interested and excited? Because that team never had a chance in that game yesterday. They were never going to win it. This thing is so infected, such a stinking mess that they were never going to win that game yesterday. Never. They were never in it.
I saw a video the other day that I thought was really funny, and it was like they were predicting the score of the Cowboys, and so they started. It was like 55-0 was the original score, and then they were like, "Well, but you know what? Dak's out, so that gives us another 7 points. Zeke's out. Here's 7 more. Oh, and then they have who's the kicker?
Aubrey.
Brandon Aubrey. He can score 6 field goals, so there's 21 because he can score from 70. But wait, now we have to remember Jerry Jones is the GM and Mike McCarthy is the coach, so it's actually going to be 42-3.
They were
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what the final score was. 34-6.
32 or 34-6.
Oh, God.
34, I think.
So 2 Brandon
sucks.
Aubrey field goals. Is it bad that your best player is your kicker? Like that man is
terrible.
Yes.
It's terrible.
that
Especially
man's
for
going to
the-
become a Cowboy
Especially
icon.
for the Dallas football Cowboys. That's terrible.
Okay, bigger story. Did you see that on the Jumbotron when they were doing the... did you have this story? Am I stepping
Oh,
on
I
you?
saw
I
this.
wasn't,
Okay.
but I saw it.
So they
Oh, yeah.
misspelled Landry's name and they had it up as Tom Laundry.
Either way, he's a big fan of Ribby Pulse.
Wait, so
forgot
what
about
was this
that.
on?
The
On the Jumbotron during the game when they did the...
They did a Veterans
salute to
Day.
Yeah,
the
it was a
How do you
Veterans Day
misspell Tom
ceremony.
Landry of all people?
I don't know, but they
That
did.
person does not have a
They
job
did.
today.
I'm sure
Probably
it got
not.
auto-corrected, but
Damn
They
tight.
did it
you
from their
gotta
cell
pay.
phone,
you got to pay close enough attention.
especially to
shout out to
that.
David Moore of the Dallas Morning News.
Yeah, that's
who
where
broke
I
this
saw it.
story on Twitter.
Yeah, that's where I saw it too.
Okay, so back to these curtain things. Mm-hmm. I'm curious how you build a stadium and you don't realize that the sun is going to be magnified times 1,000 when you build it.
I have the answer.
Okay.
Actually, David Moore had the answer. David Moore had an interview with the architect who said it was purposefully designed in that fashion with the idea that they were building taller structures on that end that were going to block the sun completely. Jerry Jones just hasn't gotten around to that part of his evil plan yet, apparently.
But I love that now he got questioned yesterday about it, and, well, let's tear down the stadium and build another one. Are you kidding me? Everybody's got the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issues. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. And then he said something about, where's the moon? Like, instead of just saying...
You get to know that in almost a year in advance.
Yeah, because of the schedules and everything. Like,
Did McCarthy just not run the proper solar play?
Right. Well, you a-holes know that you're playing at 3:25 a year in advance. Just exhausting.
The question, why is he so insistent on just not closing the curtains?
Right.
Because they have curtains.
Right.
Because they use them for other non-football events.
And what's even more fun is I saw Jody Dean posted this. Apparently those curtains weren't even originally intended to block out the sun. It was to help out with blocking the noise, the sound from bouncing off those big-ass glass walls. So it's just exhausting trying to figure out this team. But the sound was so bad that they finally at least figured that out.
BTW, going to a concert in there is terrible.
Yeah.
I've never been in the building.
Oh, really?
Intentionally.
Okay, so I've only been to one actual football game outside of high school football. But I've been to both Ed Sheeran concerts. And though Ed Sheeran was amazing, the acoustics were awful.
There's only one band currently playing that I would go see there.
Rush?
They're not currently playing.
I don't know.
It would have been them, but...
The old 97s?
You know what? There are two. The Foo Fighters is the actual answer, but I would go see...
You didn't want to go see Linkin Park?
I don't think I'd go see a show there. I just think it'd be a bummer because it would sound terrible.
Yeah, it does sound terrible. That's my understanding. And, you could be so far away that it's just the whole thing's a rumor anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much
I'm
watch it on the
convinced that there is
Jumbotron.
something going on here that we don't know anything about with this team.
So Jerry wants the number one pick, and he's trying to buy all the real estate around, and he's trying to tank the team so badly that they can buy the Walmart across the street.
It could be that. But it could be.
That's the only Uber stop.
It could be a number of things. But I'm now pretty convinced that something's going on behind the scenes. Some sort of business arrangement is in play that we don't know anything about.
So Jerry...
Out there a lot more than we think it is. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I just think it's Jerry's stubbornness.
That comes into play here.
I was going to say Jerry, the
Because
GM,
there's
is
something
about to
going on
appoint
here
Steven, the
that
GM.
we don't know anything about, and that's the reason why we were all in, and then they turn around and do nothing. This is why they're acting totally unlike the Cowboys that we've all come to know. And that's why this thing is starting to look like it did in the late 80s.
Ooh.
In 86 and 87.
With Tom Laundrie.
When the thing was, when Tom Laundrie was there. When the thing was clearly in decline and it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And then they had that game against the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears were really, really good, but they beat them 44-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then everybody knew that, okay, this thing is headed downhill. How far will it go? And I don't know what it could possibly be. I don't know what the end game here. I know this is going to sound crazy. But it could be that Jerry's going to sell the thing.
What? Hot take from Mike Reiner.
I'm not reporting this as fact. I don't believe it to be true, but I'm looking around at all the things it could be, and as unlikely as that seems, and yes, it is unlikely, it's the most it's the most likely scenario I can come up with.
Well, if you're of the mind that it must be something, that's the thing that makes the most sense of it must be something. But I just think it's Jerry's ego.
I don't see him selling. I see him passing it down to Steven, if anything. He's got way too much pride to sell the
Yep.
stupid thing.
That's that, and you know
And he wants the credit.
When I look at it from based on what we absolutely know and what I intellectually know and what we intellectually know about Jerry, it would point to that. But he's acting in ways that run completely counter to everything we've seen from him. Nobody can deny that Jerry has always been all about winning, that he is involved in it just because he wants a championship. That's what he wants. He wants to go to Super Bowls. He wants that glory hole. He wants all this other stuff.
But he wants the credit too.
Yeah, he wants the credit. He wants the credit, and the way he is acting these days runs completely, totally, 100% counter to that.
I don't
And
disagree.
I don't know, I don't know what to make of it.
His kids don't want to run it anymore, so he's just going to sell it?
Well, I don't think they have a whole lot of say in whether or not he sells a thing.
But you think he resents and hates them so much he would do that to them?
I don't think so.
Basically take it from them?
Well, I'm sure they'll be very, very well taken care of because...
I mean,
you know
how
what
much is
would
it worth
cost
now?
somebody to buy the Dallas football Cowboys these days?
Hey, Groovy,
It's
look
gotta
up
be-
about how much they're worth.
About $5 billion, right?
No. It's like 10 something.
Okay.
Cowboys?
Yeah, they're like at least worth 10.
Billion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to cost somebody about 40.
Oh, $11 billion.
Oh, they're 11?
Okay, take that, double it,
At least.
and probably half it again, and you might get into the ballpark of what it would take. But you know what? There may be somebody out there that can do that and is crazy enough to do it.
That's 27.5, by the way.
Yeah. See, I love you, man.
How much did
Could've just said triple it, basically.
I had to do it.
how much
Boy,
did
that is that exponential mind.
That's why we love him.
how much did Mark sell the Mavericks for? It was like 20, it was like 6, right?
I don't know.
Billion.
No, I thought it was closer to, I don't remember what it was.
$4.5 billion, but I'm not sure how much of that.
77% or something like that.
Like Luke.
Like he still has 23%.
He still owns 20 something.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the Mavericks go for that, then for the Cowboys, we're probably in the ballpark there. We're talking what, 27 billion?
Yeah, 27 and a half.
27 and a half, okay.
I mean, if you're talking about 2.5 times 11.
Okay,
Yeah, Shoopy.
well, if anybody's got that kind of jack sitting around and you want
Let me see.
to play big boy football, then
Yeah, no. Who
got
could
this.
even afford to buy it?
I'm a little short.
I am too.
Let me look. I have a credit card and... No, I don't have that.
I can't afford it. It's too rich for my blood.
Well, hey,
I
speaking of
worked in
disasters,
radio.
speaking of disasters, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald happened yesterday, Shoopy.
Well, not yesterday.
Years ago, yes.
I thought it was yesterday.
That was the anniversary, but 49 years ago yesterday.
Well, yeah.
yes, that's right. It was duly noted. I've been reading a lot about it.
Tell us a story, Pops.
I don't know the story.
Yes, you do.
What? It's a whole thing.
I mean, all I know is what I learned in that song.
Well, there's the song, and I tweeted with Grego about this yesterday. I remember the time the salvage boat went and got the bell, and we had the captain of the salvage boat on.
That's right, we did.
And he ended every sentence with "over"
Yes, he did.
because he was out in the middle of the lake.
That's right.
So he was on ship to shore.
He was going ship to shore. That was a squared away sailor,
It
too.
was.
That's amazing.
I love that.
This song came out in 1975, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I might be somewhere around there.
That thing went down in 75 if it was 49 years ago.
Okay, well, maybe it was 76.
Yeah, it looks like 76.
And when I heard this for the first time, I wasn't a big Gordon Lightfoot fan yet.
I like it better. Other Canadian musicians more, but
And I thought that he was singing about that this was a tale, if in fact it was true, it was something that had happened like back in the 1800s. Little did I realize that it had happened just a year earlier. And I didn't find that out for a really long time because, you didn't have Google back then. You couldn't just go look it up somewhere.
Well, I don't know that stuff was in there that quick.
Yeah, I don't know if it was either. See, always a snappy rejoinder here. That's what I hate about this show.
You taught us also well.
Yeah.
But yes, pour one out. The church bell chimed
29
and it rang
times.
29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Did it blow your mind when you found out that it was on the Great Lakes? It wasn't out in the ocean.
Well, I figured it was on the Great Lakes because, he's mentioning that there. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he does.
But I didn't know they had storms like this on there. And I was reading something about this today because I always read about it. There's always stuff about it on the anniversary. And man, it sounds like this storm was just a badass.
That was a pretty big boat.
Yeah, it was. And for it to be tossing that thing around like it's a ping pong ball or something.
Yeah.
Well, pour one out for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald
Stay hard.
tonight.
29 shots.
That's right.
Okay.
What we need you to do is do 29 shots of
I
something
don't have
and
the energy.
video it. Send it to us. Let us see it. Let us see what kind of shape you're in after 29 shots.
They will be dead.
What else, Shoopy?
I think we nailed all the news. Now
All
we need
right,
to
I
just,
got a what else?
Yeah.
What else?
Let's talk with Expo. Let's learn some things about him.
All right, give us your 3 greatest moments of your time at the ticket.
Oh, man.
And I'm asking you this because I mentioned earlier you got an extraordinary memory. And you remember things that most of us have long since forgotten. All right, do this. Come up with 3 things that you think we've probably forgotten.
I don't know that you've forgotten this, but it's probably my best moment actually doing the job. I got asked sort of impromptu at one of the ticket stocks to basically do a drop montage. And I think I fired up what we call I don't even know what the actual name of the song is. You remember that?
No.
Oh, yeah, the disgruntled bikini girl song.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the band.
And played 3.5 minutes or whatever it is, it drops behind that. And everybody seemed to love that. And I got asked to do it again the next year, and I could not. I mean, I did it, but I could not do it nearly as well as I did. Prepping for it was worse than just trying to do it off the cuff.
Did you prep for that, or did we arrange that ahead of time?
The first one, no. That was just, hey, do this. And then very
Are
impromptu.
you trying to get over there,
I was
Shoopy?
trying to. I didn't find the right one.
Do you remember
Sorry,
what it was called?
I don't. We just called it
Yeah. Would you go to bed with me?
That's it. I don't remember why we had it. You brought it in, said, use this for something, and we did. And
I think we used it whenever we were talking to chicks.
No,
No, that's not it.
it was
Never mind.
slower than that.
I think
Could have been.
I think we used it whenever we, had a chick up there in the room or was talking to one on the phone or something like that.
The disgruntled bikini girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God, I wish we could find that.
I'm trying.
It's not, because it's not that.
Yeah.
It's
It's definitely a
Trying to show up
woman.
as a song by like Alchemist, but that's not it.
It's what did I find you very attractive or
Oh,
something
hold
like that?
I
Oh,
think I might. Y'all keep talking.
Okay. All right, we're looking for
but I don't, and I wish I could remember what made that start. I had a shift. Everybody was doing the round tables. That's
Yeah.
Oh,
Touch and go.
there it is.
And it's just called Would You. with like 5 or 3 periods and a question mark.
Yep. I must have fired off something funny while you guys were doing a round table, and all of a sudden it became about me, and I got told, hey, play a montage. And so I fired up the song and just played drops underneath it for 3.5 minutes or however long it is.
About 3:10.
And then the next year I got told in advance I was going to do it, and I tried to come up with something, and trying to plan it is worse than just doing it off the cuff.
This is insane.
And I wish I had recorded that. Oh, there's another one. This was not a hardline thing. Another one of my best moments at the ticket was the Brett Hull prank. Mm-hmm. When I pranked Bob to make him think that Brett Hull hated him. Like that.
Boy, he couldn't stand that, could he?
No, and it went on for 2 days, and we had to stop because Hitch called Fernando in the morning and said, do I need to do something here to fix whatever this situation is? It was great. And the credit for that.
What did Fernando say about that? What did
Fernando called me in the morning. I don't think Fernando, I didn't tell anybody. Like me and Joe Lecce knew because Rick was out of town and Joe was producing that week, and that's it. But I had gone in. Bob was a huge Brett Hull fan, and he had messed up his college number and then read some sort of rumor on the air. And I went to Brett. This was revenge because they had mic'd up our hockey coach when we were playing adult league hockey, and they had me getting angry, which is where Somebody Go came from.
Hey, you can say it free and clear now if you want.
Huh?
You can say it free and clear now if you want. You can cuss.
I can't get the same oomph behind it now.
I don't think that would be possible
without being in the moment. But I wanted revenge for that, and so I went to Brett Hull. Actually, went to Larry Kelly to help me get Brett Hull to do this, and so I did like a 1 and 20-second interview with Brett where he just ragged on Bob and said he's never talking the ticket again, and it's Bob's fault, and whatever. I can't remember the whole thing anymore, and I'm still friends with Hull now because of it. But Bob, I mean, it drove Bob crazy. He had an ice cream headache for the ages, and we dragged it on for 2 days until we had to bust the gig because Hitch got fooled by it too.
That's so awesome.
I didn't know that Hitch got fooled by it. I loved it.
And I'm mad. I used to have it saved, like we burned a CD of it, and it's unplayable. It won't play anymore, and I'm really angry about that.
I don't want to play anymore.
Because, CD burning technology in 1999
not the best.
Was not great.
Okay, I guess. I thought CDs were forever, but I thought a lot of things were going to be forever back then.
No kidding.
And they weren't. So what else?
What else?
I wanted you in here to tap into your incredible memory of stuff.
Well,
because I bet you've got.
All right.
I bet you remember stuff I don't.
So there's a reason I grabbed this pen, and it's because you have one. And I don't know if the mics pick it up. They used to. At least I could hear it in my headphones. I don't know if you could hear it on the air, but you used to always hear this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
From Mike cracking his, opening and
this?
Yeah. Opening and closing his pen. We had, and I don't know why, we had a dominatrix in one time. Her name was Mistress Seraph. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
He's going to fake this one.
And the first wheels off thing she said was something about having a pierced hood. And you hear Mike go, and Greg say, we don't have to talk about your car. And I don't know why we asked her what's the weirdest thing she ever did. I don't remember what you asked her. But she was telling a story about some high school quarterback that she tied up and fucked up the ass with a strap on. And you can hear a click and then silence. And you can see Mike reach for the button and hit the button. to dump it so it doesn't go over the air. We can't say that. But the look of defeat as the one more pen click and the head drops down. Like, what have we done here? And I've never forgotten it.
I would like to know what else was said by this dominatrix now. If that was the
two
key.
best things. I don't remember. I can't even remember why we had her on.
She was a dominatrix, and it was
just
Grego and Mike.
Could be.
Just because we were doing weird things back then. We like pushing the envelope.
We got so much mileage out of. I remember the day that the first day we didn't take any phone calls, and realized, wait a minute, we might be onto something here. You guys were at Colonial. It was a Friday at Colonial.
Yeah.
And we got near the end of the show, and me and Kat looked at each other in the studio because obviously you guys weren't there. Like, I don't think we took any phone calls today. This has been awesome. And we really kind of stopped taking calls after that. We would occasionally take them at the very beginning of the show. Or, you know what? It wasn't even that. Jeff would answer the phones at the beginning of the show. And that's where a lot of our wacky ideas and wacky segments just sort of took off from somebody saying something to Kat as a call got screened. Mm-hmm. And that was the tangent for the next 25 minutes.
We would put them on the air if it was.
I don't know if sometimes they would go on the air. Sometimes Kat would introduce a subject based on that. There was one time we got in trouble because you had let Digger out in the middle of the night and decided you would just take a leak off the back porch.
Yeah.
And we had that discussion, which morphed into peeing in the shower, and then rounding up people from the office and asking them if they pee in the shower. And a sponsor got mad at that, and we got in trouble for it.
Yeah. It's all good until sponsors get pissed.
Right.
And then it's not so funny
As
anymore.
long as you don't say anything that the FCC is going to get mad about,
Yeah.
you're fine as long as nobody that's paying money cares.
Well, now we don't have the FCC,
We start worrying about the other people.
But I mean,
just the people.
like, this is a long time ago now.
Yeah.
And my memory is actually not what it once was. I mean, there's too many things in my head now. Things you have to learn now that I have. Like, I'm the one that does the administration of the company health plan where I work now. So that is forced fun stuff out of my head.
Wait a minute. You mean you understand insurance?
No, but I understand how to select a plan. The most understanding I have from insurance is not from working there. It's from having a father who used to be a doctor and getting information from him because he understood it. I don't know if he does anymore because he's retired now, but it's not interesting and certainly not fun.
No, it's not interesting. It's not fun. And I don't understand it, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe I need to start.
I guess technically we have an opening for it.
Yeah, I guess we do, don't we? All right, give us another story from that
Expo did not get that entire
I'm
conversation.
really digging this.
So the next thing I remember a charity challenge at Reunion that Madonna and Hull came to. This is not long after Madonna had called off his first engagement. He had dated, I can't even remember her name anymore. He had dated this girl like all the way back to when he was in juniors. They had gotten engaged and it had been called off and nobody knew. But he had told me, I don't know why, one night after a game. And we're in the locker room after the charity challenge and he's come in to say hi. And Greg says something to him about how's the wedding planning going. And Madonna looks at me real sheepishly like, what do I do here? Which was cool for me because it proved that
Grego said that?
yeah, because I didn't tell anybody that he'd called off the engagement. And that sort of helped prove it. Yeah. And so I told Mo, I'll take care of it. And Mo went off and did his thing. And I got to tell Greg, they called it off. It's not going to happen. Whatever. And I guess that's really only a cool story for me.
Still pretty cool.
Cool story. Cool story.
I don't know. We had Vinny on Dime up all the time.
Yep.
That was fun.
That was fun.
And
You just took your cap off.
I had to scratch my head.
Yeah. It's still jarring to see you without a cap.
I remember it must have been a Christmas party. The one Christmas party I went to, I showed up at the office without a cap on because it was a formal, like it was a coat and tie party.
It was?
Yeah. At the Kempinski or whatever it was called at that point. The hotel that's on the Tollway and Beltline.
I don't remember this.
It's the international now, right? Is it that one?
Yeah, or Intercontinental or something. But yeah, we had like at least semi-formal
We had a coat and tie Christmas party.
or semi-formal anyway, like the Susquehanna.
Oh my gosh.
And we all had to make an appearance. So I was there and I was dressed ready to go because, we were on the air till 7. So you go down there afterwards. We're going to show up late anyway. Excuse me. And you being shocked at me walking in without wearing a hat. Jarring. In fact, you said jarring now. That was the word you used then.
Yes. Well, I mean, I never saw you without one. You wore one every single day.
Yeah.
You were the most dedicated cap wearer that I've ever known.
It is pretty rare. Like, the only times I'm not wearing one, I mean, I don't really wear it around my house. But otherwise, like, there must be some directive for me not to be able to wear one, for me not to be wearing one. Like, and it's how I'm the most comfortable, is wearing a hat.
Okay, well, nothing wrong with it. So let's talk about your demise at the ticket.
Jeez.
Okay.
We
Now,
did
you
mention that we were going to talk
left
about this.
voluntarily, didn't you?
I did not leave voluntarily.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You were fired?
That word was never said.
Terminated.
That word was never, no word indicating anything like that was ever said.
Just might not be a terrible idea if you just don't come back tomorrow.
So the whole thing was weird. In the lead up to it, I had asked for a raise
Yeah, don't do that.
to Bruce. Well, here's the thing: like I'd done it before, and I'll tell you a funny thing about money here in a
So
second
this is
too.
when Gilbert was there, right?
Yeah. So I had gotten at one point a pretty decent raise. So decent, in fact, that now I didn't meet Groobs until after he left the ticket. I'd come up there to the new studio one time to take a look around, and Groobs was sick that day. And not long after that, he left. And I didn't actually meet him until I met him in the AAC press box.
Yeah, working Stars game.
The new studio where they are now?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Victory. I'd never been there. I left when we were still at Mockingbird. And I'd gotten such a good raise in 97 or 98 that Groobs was making the same thing when he left in 2011 or whenever that
Yeah.
was.
That sounds about right.
So 2001 rolls around.
You paved the way for so many, huh?
I guess. 2001 rolls around, and I've gone into Bruce's office and said, "Hey, is there anything I can do to earn more money? Work extra, do something, go to remotes, whatever it is." And he said, we're doing budgets, let me look at it. And that dragged on for 2 or 3 months. We went to holiday dry dock, and we came back. It was right after the first of the year. And I went into his office one day and I said, "Hey, you have any information?" He said, "Yeah, come in here after the show." It was a Tuesday. That's all I can remember. And I walk in after the show, and I'm sitting down, and he starts to talk. So, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm fine as long as I can come to work tomorrow morning." And he said, "Yeah, about that." And then said whatever it was he said, and that was sort of it. I mean, he was cool about it. I didn't have HR in the room. I didn't get escorted out of the building or anything like that. I'm probably the only person that ever went and took my little locker name tag and put it in the graveyard himself. Remember the graveyard?
All right, for those who may not know, we had cubicles up there in the building.
You had cubicles. We had lockers.
Yeah. All the on-air guys had cubicles. And in my cubicle, all the cubicles had name tags.
little like laminated, like there were pieces of paper that were laminated.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably have some of mine back there. In fact,
have a whole box of everyone's.
I
Yeah.
do.
Well, he's got
Boy, we
everyone's.
oughta-
He's
get
got
that
the
out.
graveyard.
See
Let's
if we
do
can
it.
remember any of these people.
Yeah, he's,
Yes.
I
go
kind of
get
do,
it.
yeah.
Right.
If you can find it,
Yes,
go
I
get
want to find. I want to see the graveyard.
And anyway, when somebody would be terminated, I would somehow get a hold of their name tag and I put it on the walls of the the
cubicle.
thumbtack walls of
Yeah.
my cubicle.
it's cloth walls. You could,
Yeah.
you know,
And I started doing this for everybody who got terminated, and it reached a point to
What
where,
an obituary.
to where it's kind of like an obituary. It reached a point to where
terminated or quit. I mean, what they didn't have to be fired or let go or whatever. Anybody that
yeah,
left.
just when they were not there, and it got to the point to where a lot of people, when they quit and left voluntarily, I would come in the next day and their name thing would be on my desk. They would leave it there before they. It's probably the last
Wait.
thing a lot of them did before they
Do
walked
you
out
have
the door.
Gregos?
Do I have Gregos?
Yeah, do you have Gregos?
I probably do.
That was well after I
I
left.
think you do.
You think I,
I think
do?
that was on your.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
your
it had to
cubicle.
be. It had to be.
Is that morbid in some way?
Yeah,
Well,
it
they're not
is.
actually dead.
I know,
so
but technically, but work dead is a thing.
I guess.
It is morbid in some way.
It's a
I
little
did think it was
morbid.
pretty cool though, as a ticket nerd and all that. Like just seeing all the different names that were on there. You
But
know,
a lot of people liked it.
Real quick, what about that kid that was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're done? Did you have that, guys?
oh, Pete Stein, he was not a kid. He was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Probably in his 40s or something at that
Yeah,
point.
he wasn't taking it either, was he?
Was he
Stein?
was he
No,
a full-time
like,
employee even?
I don't think. No, he was not full time.
so he probably didn't even have one.
Weekend host.
But then
and
how did
fill
you
in.
run? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, then how'd you run his career?
It could have gone better. I
don't
think he's doing okay now.
I don't
but-
think I ruined his career. I think that's a handy metaphor people used.
Well,
Grego over exaggerating.
Handy metaphor for me being a dick that people use.
today is the day I learned that you didn't know it was coming. Like that, you thought didn't realize it wasn't voluntary. So I walked out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yay.
I walked out and grabbed my name tag and put it in your deal before I left.
We have props, y'all.
Oh boy, look at this.
Becca's our Vanna White now.
I am.
Oh wow, they're so big.
Mine wasn't green or that.
Yeah,
large.
those are.
That
Jeanette's
looks like a street
jerk off.
sign.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
okay. Here's one.
Now that could be what mine looks like.
Yes,
Well, he
Here we
didn't
go.
Dan
leave.
Bennett, although he's still there.
Yeah.
he is still very much there. I don't know how I got that.
This one's funny. It
This is
has
like trophies.
my Briner note on it for Robin Clayton.
I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, sales.
See me.
So when this topic comes up for me, I always say there are.
God.
I always say there are 3 stories.
Oh man. Look at that.
Read it.
I remember her. She was a girl, and I guess she got on my bad side.
That can happen.
No, but that note attached to it says "effing see me effing immediately."
Yeah.
Whoa.
MR. When I tell the story, I usually end up saying that there are 3 stories. There's what they told me, there's what I think, and then there's the truth. And I only know 2 of the 3. And I really don't even remember one of them anymore. Like I know what I think. I kind of remember what Bruce said, but I don't know that that's what the actual story is. The rumor I heard was that Big Dan Bennett had sort of made the determination that if there was no really other place for you to advance, that they need you to. Oh, here, give me that. I got a story. I got a story about him.
Whose is that?
Thanks.
Oh man.
This is. Oh wow! Look at this. This is his Mav season pass,
Mike, what all do you have?
and what I assume was his last, and what I know to be his last year at the ticket.
You even have them for the bone people.
Yes.
Yeah, for
they were
everybody.
there. They were down the hall.
Like
They were across
seriously,
the hall.
anybody that left the
The
Dallas,
building?
Yeah.
Merge bone, same thing.
Oh,
I wonder
here's
if you got the
Meredith
12
Levin.
pounders.
All right.
Wow.
Drinks.
This is so
Was mine in there?
interesting. It's gonna be somewhere.
Yeah, it was
Oh, look at
so
this.
many by the end of the time.
Here's Donovan, continuity, KLIF.
God. Yeah, before he was ever on air or anything, like,
Before he was even downstairs.
yeah.
God, this person only got one little piece of paper. She's not even laminated.
Amy Lewis?
I don't even know who that
I don't know
is.
that name either.
Can't
I don't
place it.
think.
Wait, keep going through the one in your lap.
Okay, let's see.
Talk to us, man. We got it out. We want to look.
Here is my own. Now, this has the names of J.P. Horn, Max Miller, and Tommy Daniels attached to it.
Wow. They must never have gotten them and had them. They made little labels for you.
Yeah, or maybe off their lockers or something.
Maybe. Might have
Mine
been.
was on like that thing right there.
Yes.
That was on a, well, that one, not specifically that one, but that's exactly what mine looked like
This?
on a locker. Yeah, I didn't have the bone logo, but that's the size.
Well, there's Randy James.
All right.
I feel like from here on out, like we should do like a whole segment where Mike goes through this box and gives us a story about a person.
I think we have a tier. We have bonus content.
You think we have a tier?
Yeah.
I feel like this is
Shoopy
some bonus
remembers some
content.
people.
Trouble is, I can't remember any of these people.
Never mind.
Doogie's got a little man on his.
Why does Doogie's have a?
I don't know. It's got a character.
It's got a merge thing on it.
Michael.
That's. I don't think that's
I
Doogie
don't
Doogie.
know. Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
Producer.
it must be. Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Doogie wouldn't have been around for Merge, would he?
No.
No,
Matt Baldwin.
don't know him.
I know that name. You have to know.
Oh, there's Pete Stanton. I know him.
All right.
Wait, he's has Hummer photos. Connected
Oh, he
there.
does?
I remember I had to drive the ticket Hummer around one day.
Are they? What kind of Hummer photos are we talking about
Car.
here?
The car.
Yeah, the vehicle.
Yeah.
The vehicle.
Boo.
It's masterful bon mots like that that
Yeah.
put her where she is.
I thought we were done with the Mr. Sroff segment.
Oh no, I got a text that she's been located and she would love to be on the show.
What?
What? Yes,
The hell?
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
I would love to meet Mr. Shra. Can I talk to her about some things off air too?
Text us right now.
Why go off air with it?
I mean, we can talk about it right. My mother might hear.
Put it on a tier. She won't.
Chris Arnold.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Here is a YDC guest.
All right.
No, how about that?
Tim Rogers.
Tim Rogers.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can put that
now
on the
editor of
Met
D
thing.
Magazine.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Could go on the
Done
wall.
rather well for himself.
Yeah, that is the
Here's
graveyard.
Donovan Lewis, the height of his career when he's doing continuity at Cliff.
How old are you?
Lane at Cliff too.
Jeez.
You did that Donovan Lewis one like 3 minutes ago.
I did?
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's okay. It's a lot of names.
old
It
man.
is a lot of names.
Here's somebody's Rangers working pass.
Oh,
No, let's see. That would be J.P. Horns.
okay.
Do you remember him, Shoopy?
I kind of remember the name.
Wasn't he the one that didn't want to be called Booger? And Psycho Dave
Yeah, that's
fought him?
He is.
Psycho Dave kept playing the Call Me Booger drop. And JP Horn told him to stop, apparently, and Psycho kept playing it.
That is not a good way. Letting it be known something bothers you is not a good way to get it to stop.
Especially not
BTW.
when the board op is being told that.
Shout out to Psycho Dave because he said he is our biggest fan on
He loves
Twitter.
us. And we love Psycho Dave.
We love
yeah.
to. I don't know you, Psycho Dave, but I love you too.
He's a very, very GMF.
I
And
remember.
look at this. Look at this. On 93.3 The Bone, doing mornings, the great
Hey.
Bo
Oh,
Roberts.
how about that?
Now plying his craft on KZPS.
Yeah.
We were right next to him.
I was going to say, that was pretty cool being across the hall from Bo Roberts.
Man, let me tell
While
you,
we were
that
at
is
the
some
free.
radio greatness
That
there.
is some radio green.
He's got nothing.
I don't know who Chip is.
Chip.
Maybe that was just in the break room. Yeah, she
Yeah.
steal this off the break
The
room
vending
I
machine.
don't know. I don't know.
basket.
Chip.
Cindy Skull.
Hey.
Yeah. Another Bone legend.
Robert T. Gill.
Bone legend.
So mine must be somewhere in that stack you've got on your lap.
It must be.
Oh, there's more in the box.
Oh
Still.
no, there's a lot of things in the box.
Well, I think while we go through some more stuff, I do want to ask Expo as someone that followed in his path and didn't realize that could be somewhat of a real job.
Kinda. We just talked about how the
how
money didn't change in 20 years.
Yeah, but like for you, at least for me, I tend to credit you as the one that really kind of brought drops to prominence at the ticket. I know that Fred Norris with Howard Stern and sound effects had always been used on radio stations, but it feels like you kind of were the one that really took it to another level at the ticket.
He was. I called him the Doctor of Drops.
And like, how much of the ticket did you know before you started interning there?
Some, because I started interning. It's how I got the job as an intern. Mike will tell you that before I worked at the ticket, I was an usher at a movie theater. Mm-hmm. He likes to say I was an usher. I was the assistant manager, or the assistant to the assistant manager. It's not just the usher.
I'm sorry I minimized you all these years.
That's all right.
Look here. Here's another one.
It's got a note on the back.
And I have
The Ender Weekend Nights, Mark Followell.
And here's his co-host.
And hey,
And there's his co-host, Doogie.
yay.
You have a note on the back of his? You have a note on Follow.
And don't take.
Oh,
What does that mean?
probably shouldn't be with you.
It means he stole it.
Where was I?
You were talking about how you were an
listening
usher.
Yeah.
Oh, I was driving around looking for a new job after I left the movie theater and discovered the hard line, which at that time was 11 to 2. Before they got moved to the afternoons. Dunham and Miller were 2 to 5. And they put out the call for an intern and an HVAC person, and I can't remember what other odd job things you needed.
I needed a pool guy, didn't I?
Probably. And I applied. I called Jeff and said, hey, I'd like to do the intern thing, and was able to do that. I still can't remember where was I
He was
going
our
with this.
producer then, right?
Yeah, Kat was the producer then. Ooh, here's one for you.
Michelle 3000.
All right.
Title Web Jammer Director.
Man.
How was that supposed to work?
Is the internet, Shoopy?
Yeah, it was the early
Everything was
days of
possible.
the internet.
Okay, but how exactly?
You'll see.
You're listening to music on the radio and you're going to somehow web jam it?
Yeah, man.
You're gonna jam it.
It couldn't be more simple.
Cluster.
Good Lord.
And after getting on as an intern, and then the first thing I did was learn how to be a remote engineer after that. And then I started running the board. And we had carts. And I started doing the drop thing a little bit there. I had, 8, 10, 12 carts. It was a Randy Wright, a couple of rim shots. Reiner brought in the Herman Bockelman laughs. Remember those?
Vaguely. Oh, yeah. All right, now, what was Herman Bockelman? Who was he?
I have no idea. But I just remember.
That's something I just brought in?
Yeah. It was these wacky laughs. Ooh, the skydiving chief.
Oh, yes. Oh, I remember. Herman Bockelman was a guy on KAAM who used to do really wacky laughs and stuff. Or he had a really crazy laugh, and he played German music and Eastern Euro music and stuff for really old people.
You need to put this on your bedroom door.
Uh-oh.
Wake up with a wolf.
Genius. Yeah. Well played.
God, Expo.
You invited
I
me.
thought it was a good idea to have you in here. Now I'm not so sure.
I'm so happy right now.
Wait, isn't he the original devil then? If you're the devil,
Oh
he's
yeah,
the original
he was always
one.
called. He was the first one to be called the Devil by Shoopy.
The Devil Expo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we got the Enco. Then we got the electronics and the touch screen. And I went from having 8 or 10 or 12 carts to a plethora of material. And I
All
learned.
there on a screen for him to just touch and fire off.
Yeah. And then what really made it is I'll never forget the first drop I created live. Grego was talking about a vacation and how during the vacation he went over the mighty Mississippi. And we pulled that off live. That was the first ever live drop that was played back like within, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes of it being said on the air. And then we realized that, well, playing drops of guys saying things that they maybe didn't wish they hadn't said is going to be funny.
Damn right.
All right, so...
And it was funny, too.
I didn't want to tell this story because it's embarrassing for me.
Uh-oh.
Casey Harrison.
Oh, no.
Yes.
She was a jock. This KK's, I guess this was for the zone.
Yeah.
But merge, bone, all of that. And I was in talking to her.
93.3. It went through many, many variations over the years.
I was in talking to her one night after the show, and I can't even remember what brought this up. I think she coughed or sneezed or something, and her bra unhooked. Remember, I used to say anything to anyone at any time.
Yes. He was known for that, especially women.
And so
He would say anything to any girl at any time.
I made the comment that I could do that with my teeth.
Did she ask you to back that up?
3 weeks later, I go into the studio, and there's a mannequin with the bra on. So she didn't say anything to me. She went and told them. You remember this?
Yeah, vaguely.
Not my finest hour.
I would
They
like to
glued
see
it
this.
shut.
I would like to see this reenacted. We have a mannequin
That
in
must
the
have
house.
been masterminded by Grego.
Either Grego or Cat.
We can put it on groups.
I took a front loader. Yeah, well, it had to be a front loader, and they glued it shut and then made me try to take it off of a mannequin.
A front loader.
Not cool. Well, I mean, what's the
That
point?
makes more sense with the whole sneezing, coughing, opening it up.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't do any good to do it with your teeth if it's not a front loader.
Now, here's a blast for the past for you. Alexi Wall.
All right.
He's a good dude. I liked him.
I was going to say, Alexi's ticker was the first thing that happened, or it happened the day before my first day at the ticket. His
What's
all
that?
that and next ticker. Did you ever get to hear that, Expo?
No, that was my
I don't know
dark
if we can
period.
play it, but
My dark
Alexi
period.
had to do a ticker because I think someone was sick, and he tried to read stuff from the newspaper, and he just utterly panicked, and it became, a catchphrase, all that and next on the ticket, and yeah.
And I don't know right now.
Yeah.
He ran into something, the story that he was doing a story that he didn't have all the information on, and he got to it and said, and I don't know right now.
Yeah. By a score of, I don't know right now.
Yeah.
That used to happen too when guys would just try to read stuff off the. I can't remember what the company was that we had the sports ticker from. Back before, not before internet, but before there was good internet, and there was an actual sports ticker where you could get scores and stuff. And some people would make notes of the scores before they did their tickers, and others would try to read it right off of the thing. Well, if it froze, you couldn't read the scores. And I remember many people falling into that pitfall. I also remember the Grego panic. Grego had to take in and out of breaks. I think you were sick. And that is where, all right, comes from.
What about, was that also the day that he said, hey, we're back? Or was that something else?
That one I don't remember.
Okay, so that might have been after your time.
I mean, that could have been. That's a little too generic. Oh, so Rocco, Mike and I talked a little bit about Rush before this thing started because that's my favorite band. And Mike was not on board with them when I was there and has since sort of gotten on board with them.
Yes, I live with Rush regret now.
I went.
Because I never saw him.
I went to many Rush shows, but amongst them were the final three, which took place in Phoenix and in Irvine and in L.A. And I was supposed to go with a friend of mine who, as it turned out, changed jobs and couldn't get off work. So I go to those places with an extra ticket. And I was able to sell Phoenix, and I was able to sell Irvine. And for whatever reason, I couldn't sell L.A., but I knew somebody that lived there. And Rocco went to the final Rush show with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Should have called Mike.
So you've seen him since I have, huh?
I guess. I mean, this would have been 2015.
Yeah. Wow. What was that like?
The seeing him part of it?
Yeah.
It was fine. Like, I had seen him 3 or 4 years earlier when I was out there. We met up and had a few drinks.
It's another Donovan Lewis. How many times did you try to get rid of him?
He just changed jobs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, changed functions.
Jobs, change functions, and then
They'd get a new one.
The old one came to me. Yeah. And I didn't. Most of these I didn't take. Most of these people gave them to me.
You probably took like the first half dozen or so.
Yeah.
And then people
started bringing them.
Yeah, then it became shtick.
Yeah.
Like so many things up there.
How about the programming duo?
Man.
You just did
Look at that. I did?
No. You hadn't done that one.
I don't think I did this.
No,
that
you
was
didn't do that one. The Bruce Gilbert and Jeff Catlin.
Yeah.
No, you didn't do
No, I didn't do that. There's the programming duo,
Yeah.
Jeff Cadlin and Bruce
No,
Gilbert.
I didn't realize that was a Jeff assistant program director one.
Yes, it is. That makes it rare.
It's very rare.
This is
On
like
the
baseball
collectibles.
trading cards.
On the collectibles market, that'll do very well.
This is
Yeah. Well, it's being in view of the fact that you're the only one that has any of these things.
if you want yours, they come at a
you
cost.
sell them back to the.
All right, ticket people, ticket listeners out there. Would you like some of this stuff?
Hey.
Hit me.
I still have a bunch of the old hats, but I don't wear them. But it's just the ticket
I've got a
logo
lot
and
of-
ticket logo in various colors.
Yeah, I've got a lot of hats too, and I don't wear them.
Well, you're not much of a hat guy anyway.
I'm more of one than I used to be.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
throw
still
one.
pretty rare.
Yeah, it's
on
pretty
occasion.
rare. It's jarring when I wear one, as opposed to you. It's
When it's jarring when I
you
don't. I'm trying to remember, did I wear one?
It's kind of
So,
like when Groups doesn't wear a hat.
one night or one day I got asked by Mike to be the chaperone at Jordan's 13th birthday party, maybe
Oh yeah.
at the country club or at a country club.
Yeah,
I think it was 13.
probably so. I'll bet she would remember.
36. Was she born in 88?
Yeah,
So yeah, this would have been 01-ish.
yeah.
I was certainly the most drunk person at a 13-year-old birthday party.
That's a good thing. You did your job.
And I was there because you were afraid that interlopers were going to try to come from some other school or something.
Yeah,
I think that was supposed to be my main function.
yeah. You were security.
Yeah.
Were you watching for the boys from Cistercian or something?
I remember being at the party, sort of. I remember being asked, and I remember getting drunk. And that's about all I can tell you.
Adulty enough to be a chaperone, but just to make sure the kids don't come and interlope.
The uninvited ones.
Did you have like a list with like pictures on it for who's uninvited?
I think that, no. The answer is no. I think that here, the people that show up between this time are supposed to be here, and you're looking for people that are going to try to sneak in later.
Okay, I got you.
Do you have any recall of that?
Vaguely, I remember enlisting.
Remember it happening.
Yeah, I remember enlisting you to do it.
But that's all I remember
Yeah.
from it.
It was-
Like, I didn't really
it was
participate in the party.
It was probably rather uneventful.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I think some people did show up, and I had to go sort of scare some people off.
yeah.
Back in my angry days.
I probably recruited you because Renee was worried that something might go awry. Well, Shoopy, have you got any grenades for us today?
No, I think we're that worked out pretty well as a grenades. That was
I
amazing.
feel like that's its own grenade, that
graveyard?
box
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Can't believe you
Shoopy
couldn't find mine
graveyard.
yet.
I didn't see groups either.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had one.
Have you never?
Wow.
No.
Yeah, he might not.
There's a pile in his lap that he refuses to actually finish going through. So
He's been through about a quarter of those.
So many.
The Hummer photos is about where he ended.
Yes.
But I know mine ended up in his cubicle because I put it there.
That a boy.
Like I walked out of
Thank
Bruce's
you.
office. I opened up my locker, grabbed my stuff out of it, and put the tag on
There
the.
are a few in another box mixed in with a bunch of other stuff from the ticket.
God, crazy.
I'm kind of shocked you just took all those with you.
It's what?
Kind of shocked you took them all.
I'm sure somebody else just threw him in a box and he took the box.
That pretty much definitely happened.
That's
and in fact, it was probably you.
That's a very good possibility. Because I was definitely tasked with helping to break stuff down or help out with that.
When you went from Mockingbird to we
from,
went to when you
from Maple to
Maple to Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from Mockingbird to Maple.
Rest in peace,
Of the
Maple.
three, what was your favorite studio?
Maple.
I mean, Maple for me. I never worked in. I've been to Mockingbird to Victory a couple of times, but
I worked at all three, and Maple is my favorite. But I will say this. Mockingbird being a radio nerd and everything, Mockingbird had a really cool vibe. Because that studio, for years, also housed KVIL in its
Before us.
halcyon days.
Yeah.
Before us. And for that space to house KVIL and the ticket,
yeah.
that's something. That is something.
I like that Maple had the ticket commissary downstairs.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice
helpful.
little spiff.
Yeah. Wasn't a full spiff. You still had to pay, but it was convenient.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Expo, this has been a little slice, man.
I've enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for doing it.
Even though I did tell my most embarrassing story.
One, the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bra.
That's all right. We've all had our moments. You had yours.
It's not as embarrassing when you realize people glued it shut.
I don't know. I still find it really funny.
It is funny, but it's not as embarrassing. It's funny.
I mean, it's more the fact that he said it.
That I said it to Casey.
Yeah.
And that she went and just told them. Probably within 5 minutes of me leaving.
I mean, you set yourself up for that.
I did.
You really, really,
I
really
set
did.
myself up for plenty of things. I'm sure it's not the only dumb thing I did.
Well, it was a swinging time, man. It was a swinging time.
It was really the most fun time of my life, I would have to say. Like,
Okay.
that was a great job from a enjoying it standpoint.
Yeah, definitely the most fun time of mine, for sure.
Wait,
no question
right
about it.
now's not?
What?
Right now?
Well, right now, still got to play out.
No, okay.
It's harder. It's when you go from a place that you were at in your 40s to being in your 70s, just by definition, the 40s are going to probably be more fun.
And, you know, everything is better in the rearview mirror, you know?
So in 5 years, when he cans us all, he's going to be like, those YDC days were great.
It won't take 5 years.
Wow.
Just hope you never hear the words, "It's time."
Is that what was told to you, Expo?
No, he was gone by the time Bruce came around.
Yeah, that was the
laddie.
Mike Thompson, the wild Irish laddie, who you can say what you want to about him, but if he had not come along,
No,
when
he
did,
was pretty key.
he was extremely key, and nobody talks about him, nobody remembers him. But if you were out there watching this, I remember your import, and I remember what you did for us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he moved you to drive time.
Yeah, I mean, without him, there's no us. He went in there and said, you know, you got this all screwed up. Your two best shows are doing middays. You need one of those in morning, one of those in afternoon. And
so we did.
We were exactly what he thought was great in a radio show.
I mean,
we were on our way to it anyway.
He did three great things, right? He moved the musers from 2 to 5 to the mornings, and in doing so, said it's time to skip.
Yeah.
And moved the hard line from 11 to 2 to 3 to 7.
Yeah.
Actually, he didn't do that first. He moved you from 11 to 2 to 12 to 4.
What?
And Coop was 4 to 7.
Yeah.
And then he realized that needed to switch.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
See, that's the greatness of Expo. There,
He knows things.
That's right, on display for the
I
edification
almost forgot that.
of one and all.
Because he was Thor at 4.
That's right.
The higher authority.
Wow. Man, I totally forgot that. We had him in here a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was great.
I bet he was great.
Yeah,
He's got a
great.
steel trap mind.
Oh boy, does he ever! I've never seen anything like that guy. Never. He is just incredible. But we're pals now, and
You should be.
Yeah, very happy to be so. I mean, not that we weren't back then, but
Yeah.
But now I appreciate him a whole lot more than I did then.
He invites him so much. He likes him so much. He invites him to his birthday party.
Yeah, that's right. He invited me to his birthday party, Expo. What do you think of that?
That's pretty cool. But I mean, look, you thought so highly of him then that I bet hindsight being what it is. I mean, you took out his leaving on Rocco.
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
And I bet if you could have a do-over, you might have done some of that different.
What do you
Maybe
think?
not.
What do you think I would have done?
Maybe been a little bit less of a dick.
Yeah, but I mean, Rocco rubbed me wrong, though.
He did, and he did some weird stuff. For sure. Acted in some weird ways, said some weird things. I know one of your favorite memories of me doing something after Rocco. Rocco bailed one day. Like, he left 10 minutes early. And I went to Mike and said, hey, man, he just bolted. You guys are going to have to come on 5 minutes early. I'm not doing that. You figure something out. So I can't remember what it is. I played one of the gag songs about him. And you, for a long time, and maybe you even remember which one it was, you thought that was awesome. That I filled the 5 minutes with some song. I can't remember what it was. Or maybe I did it with Turn on the Hard Line. Maybe it was a fake Neil Diamond song. Which I can't hear that song without hearing the lyrics in my head.
Go ahead. I'd like to hear them.
I'm not singing it. You play it, and I'll see if I can remember any of them.
I was not a ticket head, so I need a little bit of. No, it's like me. No, I have no idea. what
No,
you're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about.
Sweet Hard Line. Turn on Your Hard Line he did too, but Sweet Hard Line's the one that I.
Yeah, it's not that.
Hammer and Rhymes. Ba, ba, ba. Well, with the horn in it, I know that's Neil Diamond and not. I don't know all the. I mean, you need George to do this all. I just know some of the chorus.
Here at the little ticket.
And he changed it over the years because one of the lyrics used to be Expo, why did you play that? And it went on to whoever the board ops were at the time. But the part when it gets to the chorus, every time I hear the song, which thankfully isn't all that much, it's always Hammer and Rhymes.
Okay, all right. So, would you like the story of me hiring Skip Bayless?
Oh, yeah. I don't know the story of him hiring.
I don't know the actual story.
Hard line.
Dun, dun, dun.
Never seems.
I don't know either. And then here it comes. Hammer and Rhymes.
11 to 2, but now they're 3 to 7.
There we go.
I don't know. The story of Skip Bayless is for another day. We've taken
right.
up enough of people's time here.
Well, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thank you, man. Thank you for doing this. That memory of yours is a national treasure. Hang on to it.
I will do my best.
Thanks to Shoopy, Ashley, Mickey, Becca. Thanks to you guys for listening. We'd love to know what you think of us. You can hit me up on email. I am at theoldgraywolf@gmail.com. I am at theoldgraywolf on Twitter.
What happened to hardliners at AOL?
That has gone by the by.
So is the guy. So is the voice.
Your dark companion at Stolen Water Media.
Yeah, you can hit us there too.
The
Your dark
AOL
companion at stolenwatermedia.com. Do we have a Twitter handle yet?
Yes. YDC_DFW.
I do so much for you.
DFW.
And you just
And it's
forget
on,
it.
It's on X.
Instagram. Your dark companion on.
TikTok.
Okay, it's your dark companion everywhere.
Except for on X.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right. Gotta get. Thank you all for being by the channel today. Next time.
Stay.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.